So growth, Davidson, AI, it's interesting. It's almost poetic. John Hawley has spent his life, it's been an extraordinary life because I've been listening to it with awe. He has spent his life determining when to fire a missile to intercept an object at the optimum time. Not only the mathematical precision of doing that, but the resilience of an individual to spend their life doing that is amazing. I mean, it truly makes me awestruck because it is such an exceptionally hard problem. And I think metaphorically, he's taken on the same problem here at Davidson. He has no market risk. The whole movement in the market, both the public and the private sector, is moving toward what Davidson has already been doing all these years. And so if you look at our probably most conservative composite market over a 5-year growth span, it's 30% growth, which means that there's tons of white space for new entrants to come in and claim share. It really is a land grab right now. So when you see no market risks like that, then you've got all the risks shifted to something else. And so you smoke them out. And where the risks are with Davidson are all on the executional side. So you look at John and you say, it's the perfect person to be in at the chief. And then the question becomes, how do we institutionalize AI? So for Lisa Hammitt, I come here and then I think, how does this bleed into our DNA and everything we do? And I think that the growth propeller behind AI will lie in our ability to pivot and be very scrum and agile. We're going to have to set up small work groups. We're going to have to try a lot of things. And for lack of a better term, we have to chase failure. Because the faster we fail, it means the faster we're going to succeed and be able to amplify our success to, gauge it and scale it in the right way. But it is not at all a waterfall method. It is, you don't take the tablets down from Sinai and you say this is the way it's going to be. It is, you are testing things out quickly and you're looking, and failure is really, really okay. And so I think it's going to be, John's going to have a cultural awakening inside of Davidson that we're going to now move to Scrum and we're going to move to really smart, small working groups. Without a doubt. And turning it to the positive side, what happened for me was I was invited to my son's school when he was in 6th grade to do a primer on AI, right? And as you can imagine, like in the front row are the boys, and the conversation rapidly devolves into, oh my gosh, it's Ex Machina, it's going to take over the world, and you really can't deprogram it because it's HAL, and these fantastic stories, right? This is the way that it's going to go with the 6th graders. And, I'm explaining to them exactly what I did at the beginning of this interview, that guys, Siri can't even tell whether you're talking about a tuna sandwich or a left-hand turn. Come on, she's been in the war theater for 40 years and she still can't, and that's easy AI. When you get into the harder AI, we're not even close to, simulating what the brain naturally does. But even that wasn't going to go I was Mrs. Hammitt and they were just not going to believe it, right? So, but what that spurred, was when I started talking about these realistic scenarios, and I started talking about things that are near and dear to Davidson's heart, where I said, look, you guys don't know it, but you're going to be mining minerals in space. You don't know that, but Minecraft has already preconditioned you guys to be thinking that way. You're going to be looking at rare earth minerals, and you're going to be building companies around that, and there are going to be some of you are going to be lawyers for those companies. Some of you are going to be worried about policy making when you have colonies living that far away from Earth. There's just going to be such a ripple effect from what your generation is going to be doing by the time you get out of college. And so that that level of discussion spurred these sixth graders to say, we want Mrs. Hammitt to come back, and we want her to found an AI club, and we're going to have a robotics challenge. Okay, so they decided to, as sixth graders, build their own little robots and enter into the national challenge. So by positively impacting someone's life, that maybe that was a person who wasn't too interested in STEM, but now they are, because they can see the relevancy, to your point, and how it will impact their lives, I think there's only a net benefit to that, right? You know, great things happen when you share knowledge. And what I want Huntsville to do is maybe take the gem of all this knowledge that's here, and I'd love for you guys to give back. Turn it outward, right? We have kids that could benefit so greatly from the problem-solving skills that are in this community. Take the knowledge and find a way to use the technology we have here to blast it out, because we gotta get this generation educated, we gotta get them interested in space, we have to get them interested in AI. So join me in doing that, and I will be your biggest ambassador. I will show up, I will help form the course curriculum, but you know, turn it outward and start using it for some of these harder to reach places. So that's my big ask.